Welcome back to Headlines, where we round up the week's biggest stories for all of you. We start off with some news about the land of vodka, Russia. The World Anti-Doping Agency has called for Russia to be banned from global sport events for 4 years because the country is not following global anti-doping policies. This call will be either approved or rejected by WADA's executive committee in a meeting in Paris on Monday. RUSADA, which is the Russian anti-doping agency, was initially deemed non-compliant after the publication of a report in 2016. The report found that the Russian state conspired with athletes and sports officials to undertake a doping program that was unprecedented in its scale and ambition. So, Putin is suspected of colluding with Russia's athletics department to create superhuman athletes using performance-enhancing drugs. Honestly though, now that Russia's most flexible human being and probably their best gymnast, Natasha Romanoff, has left her country for the Avengers in the USA, I think it's fair to say that Russia should just give up on doping and try to play it fair like all other nations. It was an eventful Thanksgiving for both the USA and Hong Kong. The Hong Kong Human Rights and Democracy Act was written into law by President Donald Trump after the bill passed the House of Representatives and the Senate with an overwhelming majority. The US can now revoke the special trading status it has granted Hong Kong if it finds that the administration undermines the people's rights and freedoms. The bill also says that the US will allow Hong Kong residents to obtain US visas even if they've been arrested for being part of non-violent protests. So what was Thanksgiving like? In Hong Kong, it was pure jubilation. Crowds took to the streets on Thanksgiving Day to, well, give their thanks to the USA and Trump for passing the bill. Beijing's reaction? They weren't particularly happy. China's foreign ministry summoned the US ambassador to demand that Washington stop interfering in Chinese internal affairs and warned the US that it could take firm countermeasures if Washington continued to show support for pro-democracy protesters in Hong Kong. Looks like Presidents Trump and Xi won't be cuddling up for a while. Jeremy Corbyn, the leader of the Labour Party in the UK, was under fire last week. For the past 3 years, his party has been embroiled in numerous anti-Semitism cases involving high-profile figures. Britain's chief rabbi, Ephraim Mirvis, expressed concerns about what a Labour government led by Mr. Corbyn might mean for Jewish people. He said that the party's claim of investigating every allegation of anti-Semitism amongst its members was but a mendacious fiction. On live TV, Corbyn was asked 4 times whether he wanted to apologize to the British Jewish community. His answer remained the same. His government will protect every community against the abuse that they receive. I guess all that he needs is a milkshake to be thrown at him. That would be lactose against intolerance. Singapore's government released a new law this week that allows it to order platforms to remove anything deemed fake news which is against the public interest. So if you're watching this video from Singapore, then you know that we provide solid and unbiased information. If you aren't, well, you'll never know what you're missing out on. The government claims that the aim of the bill is to protect the citizens, but critics say it's just another mechanism by which the government is further cracking down on people through authoritarian techniques. What makes matters worse is the fact that the Singaporean government can now snoop on your online encrypted chats on Messenger and even WhatsApp to find the fake information. Singapore's government invoked the law for the first time on the 25th of November to order opposition politician Brad Bowyer to correct a Facebook post questioning the independence of state investment funds. Mr. Bowyer complied, adding a note to the post saying it contains false statements of fact. According to a recent statement from climate scientists, the world has reached a tipping point in the climate crisis. In fact, it might have even crossed these tipping points. Tipping points are reached when particular impacts of global warming become unstoppable, such as the runaway loss of ice sheets or the destruction of forests. In the past, scientists thought we would need to see extreme heating of 5 degrees Celsius to pass these tipping points, but the latest evidence suggests that this could happen between 1 and 2 degrees Celsius. The planet has already heated by 1 degree and the temperature is set to rise because of the burning of fossil fuels and emissions of greenhouse gases. This will be extremely harmful to our planet, and some scientists even say that there's no solution to the issue at all, now that it's spiraled so far out of hand. I have a 3-step suggestion for all of you watching. Always remember to Think globally and act locally, but also remember to panic internally. TikTok, the social media platform, disabled the account of a 17-year-old New Jersey teenager. Feroza Aziz had posted a video that started as a makeup tutorial and quickly transformed into a plea for viewers to find out what's really happening to Muslims in Xinjiang, China. Her video soon went viral, garnering more than 1 million views, and her account was immediately suspended by TikTok. She was justifiably furious. TikTok is owned by the major Chinese company ByteDance, and a report by the Australian Strategic Policy Institute concluded that many Chinese tech companies, including ByteDance, are engaged in deeply unethical behavior in Xinjiang, where their work directly supports and enables mass human rights abuses by the Chinese government. TikTok publicly apologized and gave Aziz her account back. David Warner, an Australian cricketer, hit a whopping triple century during a test match against Pakistan. A century in cricket is scoring 100 runs, and Warner, in scoring 335, beat the 334-run record of Australian cricketer Don Bradman, acknowledged to be the greatest batsman of all time. What is even more remarkable is that Warner was previously banned for a year after being involved in a ball tampering case, and was also permanently banned from taking up a leadership role in the game for the same reason. After that incident, Australian cricket was never the same, and according to him, it was humiliation every time he stepped out of his house. He was never able to get back on his feet. Even in this test match, he was a wild card for the Australian team. But his performance in this test match serves as a reminder that despite his flaws, he is one of cricket's greats. That's all for this week. Join us again next time on Headlines.